Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 15th of June 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affairs. Guys, you can download our application. Application link is given in the description box and you can log in with your email ID. After that, you can click on this crack current affairs section. And after clicking on this section, you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. But the most important thing, the price is very much low and we are covering 90 to 95% of the current affairs which are coming in your exams. This is the genuinity, this is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. And guys, remember, we are providing daily current affairs. In the daily current affairs section, we will provide three type of things. One is detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affairs, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. We are also providing weekly section. In the weekly, again, you will get three type of the sections. One is detailed current affair, question and answer format of current affair, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. And most important, we are also providing monthly section, and in the monthly section you will receive four type of PDFs. One is detailed current affair, next is the question and answer format of current affair of particular month, top or best 100 current affairs, which is also provided in the form of question and answer, and also pocket PDF. It means you can revise the current affairs before your exam in the 3-liner and the 4-liner current affairs. But we are also providing to enhance your performance in the exam, like topic wise current affair, or you can say the smart PDFs, and we are covering 20 most important topics which are important for every type of exam. If you want to revise all the current affairs of related to one particular topic from just single PDF, then you have to use this section. And if you are a banking aspirant, then we are providing three things for you. One is detail and question and answer format of current affairs related to banking and economy. Third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application only related to banking and economy on monthly basis. Next is if you want to revise all the current affairs, all the past current affairs basically of 2021, just like you can say 5 months current affair from just single PDF, then you have to pick this exam PDF. We are also providing detailed budget and economic survey, and we are also giving you one expected question and answer PDF, so that you can realize that how examiner can create a question from the budget and economic survey. We are also providing state current affair to enhance your state performance, and we are covering every state and union territory. So guys, there is no different subscription. We are providing all these things just under one subscription. You have to just download our application. You have to log in with your email ID, and you can click on this crack current affair section, and after clicking on this, you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low, and on that minimum price we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And guys, if you have any type of query, then you can email us on this email ID, or you can call us on this number. And let's start today's session, that is 15th of June 2021. But you have to like this video, you have to share this video, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. So let's begin today's session with the most important question section, and here is the first question. Which state ranked first in the Anemia Mukt Bharat Index 2020-21? So the most important keyword here is the Anemia Mukt Bharat program or the index 2020-21. And guys, this state is Madhya Pradesh. So you have to remember the Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy was basically launched in 2018 to reduce the prevalence of anemia all over India. And it is an initiative of by default Ministry of Health and Family Welfare with the help of the United Nations Children Fund, or in simple word you can say it is with the help of UNICEF. So Madhya Pradesh secured top position in Anemia Mukt Bharat index in 2020-21, and second rank goes to the state of Odisha, and third rank goes to the Himachal Pradesh. If you belongs to Odisha and Himachal Pradesh, then you have to remember the rank, otherwise there is no need to remember the rank. And Odisha came on the second, followed by the Himachal Pradesh in the third position. And the Anemia Mukt Bharat strategy was launched in India in 2018 to reduce prevalence of anemia all over India. And guys, you can also remember that this Anemia Mukt Bharat is a part of intensified national iron plus initiative program, and comes under the Prime Minister overreaching scheme for holistic nutritionment, that is known as the Poshan Abhiyan. And it was launched to speeden up the process of reduction of anemia by default, and during the period of 2005 to 15, the reduction of anemia was less than 1% per annum. But main target is to just reduce the anemia in India by 3% per year among the children, adolescents and women in the reproductive age group of 15 to 49 years between the year of 2018 to 22. And main target groups are like children from 6 to 59 months. 6 to 59 means, or you can say below the age of the 5 years, or between the 5 to 9 years. Adolescent girls and boys from 10 to 19 years. Women of reproductive age of 15 to 49 years. Pregnant women and lactating mother. These are the targeting groups. And it is one of the country with anemia as a serious public health concern. Almost 50% of the pregnant women, 59% of the children fewer than the 5 years of age basically you can say are anemic, or you can say are suffering from the anemia. And decline in anemia prevalence will contribute to improved maternal and child survival rate and improved health outcomes for other population groups. So guys, remember, this is Anemia Mukt Bharat program, which was launched in 2018. So you have to just remember 2 or 3 things under this question. One is the Anemia Mukt Bharat program was started in which year? It was started in 2018. It is launched by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and United Nations Children Fund. And you know, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Union Minister is Dr. Harshvardhan, and constituency is Chandni Chowk, you can say the Delhi, and UNICEF, United Nations Children Fund, executive director is Henrietta Fore, headquarters is in New York, and brand ambassador is Priyanka Chopra. Remember, Priyanka Chopra is the brand ambassador of UNICEF. So this state is Madhya Pradesh. You know, chief minister is Shivraj Chauhan, and governor is Anandiben Patel. That is an additional charge given to Anandiben Patel after the death of Lalji Tandon. And you can also remember the very important national park here, like Kanha Tiger Reserve is there, very famous, Kanha National Park, and there is Bandhavgarh National Park, that is one of the largest national park of India. There is you can say Pench Tiger Reserve is also there. Panna Biosphere Reserve is also there. So these are very, very famous national parks or the biosphere reserves in the Madhya Pradesh. Now we can move to the next question. Who has been declared as the winner of 2021 Pen Pinter Prize? So the most important keyword here is 2021 Pen Pinter Prize. So answer of this question is Sitsi Dangrembka. So you have to remember, the pronunciation can be wrong, but you have to just remember the first word, that is Sitsi. Sitsi Dangrembka. So she belongs to Zimbabwe. And guys, you can also see here the picture of Sitsi. Zimbabwean writer Sitsi Dambrembenga wins Pen Pinter Prize 2021. But the most important thing about this prize, Pen Pinter Prize, the Pen Pinter Prize is annually awarded as a literary prize, and it was established in the year of 2009 in the memory of Nobel laureate playwriter, that is Harold Pinter. And you can see here the Pen Pinter Prize is annually given literary prize established in 2009, and it is with the memories of Nobel laureate playwriter Harold Pinter. And the prize is awarded to a writer resident in the United Kingdom, the Republic of Ireland, the Commonwealth or the former Commonwealth, for their writing in English, which shows a you can say intellectual determination to define the real truth of our lives and our societies. So you have to remember, it is given to that residents. And this Sitsi wrote very famous book that named as This Mournable Body, or you can say Nervous Conditions, and so many books. But guys, remember, this prize is not for single book. This prize is for charting the development of Zimbabwe from British colony to an autocratic and troubled free state through her writing career of 30 years. So this award is not basically for one novel. It is for the writing career of 30 years, and it is for the development of Zimbabwe from the British colony to an autocratic and troubled free state. And he will receive this award at a ceremony hosted by the British Library and English Pen in October 2021. It means this award will be given in official ceremony in October 2021. And guys, remember, Sitsi was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2020 for her work like This Mournable Body. And she has also authored the book titled Nervous Condition. And she was arrested in 2020 while she was protesting and taking a stand against corruption. So all the things we covered. Now we are covering the options here. These are very, very important options. You can see here the first option is David Diop. Yes, very important. David Diop recently won International Booker Prize. Guys, this is the most important question of 2021. International Booker Prize 2021 for very famous novel At Night All Blood is Black. Next is Louise Ardrich. She belongs to you can say United States of America, and she won 2021 Pulitzer Prize, and the novel name is The Night Watchman. The Night Watchman. So very famous book. Next, Jane Goodall, very famous prize, Templeton Prize. Templeton Prize for 2021. So all the prizes are very famous. David Diop won the International Booker Prize 2021 for At Night All Blood is Black. Sissy won this 2021 Pen Pinter Prize for the 30 years of writing career. Louise Ardrich from United States of America, and she wrote a very famous book, The Night Watchman, and she won 2021 Pulitzer Prize. Jane Goodall won the Templeton Prize for 2021. Now we can move to the next question. Who was appointed as the first woman Secretary General of UNCTAD? And the most important keyword here is the first woman Secretary General of United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Trade and Development. And we covered this organization so many times, because when we are discussing the one-liner important points, then we are discussing definitely the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. Every day, one single news basically belongs to United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. So many reports are published in a year by this organization. And guys, remember, the first woman Secretary General of this organization is Rebecca Greenspan. So answer of this question is D. And she belongs to which country? She belongs to Costa Rica. Costa Rica. So you can remember this. And you can see here the picture of Rebecca Greenspan, appointed as the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development Secretary's General. And guys, she previously served as the United Nations Development Program Regional Director for the Latin America and the Caribbean Islands. And she is also the member of high-level panel of the Financing for Development. She also served as the Vice President of the Costa Rica from 1994 to 1998 for the time period of 4 years. She also served as the Deputy Administrator of United Nations Development Program. So you have to just remember these 2 or 3 things, but the most important thing, you have to remember the name. But you can also remember United Nations Conference on Trade and Development is a permanent intergovernmental body established by the United Nations General Assembly, in which year it was established in 1964. And this body is a part of United Nations Secretariat and reports to the United Nations General Assembly and the Economic and the Social Council. And its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, and total member countries are 195. And remember, the Secretary General who was recently appointed is Rebecca. But guys, other options are again very important, and we will cover all the options. Like you can see here, the first here is Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. She belongs to Nigeria, and she became the first female Director General of World Trade Organization. Most important question of the year of 2021. Next is Andy Jassy. He will become the CEO of Amazon in July. Remember, CEO of Amazon in July. 5th of July, I think the date is 5th of July. Next is Narendra Batra, very important position. He became the President of International Hockey Federation, or FIH. So you have to remember, President of International Hockey Federation. Now we can move to next question. Who won the men's single title in the French Open 2021? Earlier, one tournament was completed in 2021. That was the Australian Open, and this tournament was won by Novak Djokovic. But second tournament of the year is French Open. Now this is again won by which player? Novak Djokovic. So answer of this question is A. And guys, Novak Djokovic belongs to which country? Novak Djokovic belongs to Serbia, and he defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas. And he belongs to which country? He belongs to Greece. So you have to remember the runner-up in the French Open also. This is again important. So Novak Djokovic won Australian Open 2021 and also the French Open of 2021, and he defeated Stefanos Tsitsipas, who belongs to Greece. Novak Djokovic belongs to Serbia. So you can see here, world's number one, Novak Djokovic clinches his second French Open. This is the second French Open he won all over his sports career, and men's single title 2021 French Open champion. And you can see here the picture of Novak Djokovic. And you have to tell me who won the women's single title in the French Open 2021. Again, very important question. We are talking about in the women's category, and answer of this question is Barbora Krejcikova. So you have to remember, only the name is Barbora, but you can also remember the full name, Krejcikova. And you can also remember she belongs to Czech Republic. She belongs to Czech Republic. Now you can see here the picture of Barbora. And guys, you can see here, it is the second Grand Slam of 2021 of Novak Djokovic, and it is a clay court tournament. You can remember, it is a clay court tournament, and it is Djokovic's second French Open title and 19th Grand Slam title. And this is the second Grand Slam of 2021, because we already discussed that Novak won 2021 Australian Open and also now the French Open. And Novak became the first player in the Open era to win all 4 major Grand Slam twice. This is also known as a double career Grand Slam. Double career Grand Slam. It means he won French Open 2 times, US Open 2 times, Wimbledon 2 times, and you can say Australian Open 2 times. And Barbara also became the first player to win women's single and double title in the same year since Mary Pierce in 2000, because she also won the women's single title and she also won the double title in the same French Open of 2021, and she was aligned with one another player in the doubles, that is named as Katerina. She also belongs to Czech Republic. So you don't have to remember the name of the partner, but you have to remember Barbara also became the first player to win women's single and double titles in the same year since Mary Pierce from France in 2000. So this is very important question you have to remember. And guys, remember the other options like Iga Swiatek. Very important option because she won very important title in the year of 2020. She basically won, you can say, the French Open of 2020. French Open of 2020. Naomi Osaka, she won United States Open of 2020, US Open of 2020, also the Australian Open of 2021. So you have to remember these tournaments. And you can also see here Rafael Nadal, he won the French Open of 2020. Now it was won by Novak Djokovic, and Dominic Thiem, who won the US Open of 2020. US Open of 2020. So guys, remember all these options because we are covering so many things under this question. So you have to remember these two questions. Now we can move to the next question. What was the theme of 47th G7 Leader Summit 2021? First of all, you have to remember G7 Leader Summit is hosted by which country? It is hosted by United Kingdom, and exact place is Cornwall. You can remember exact place is Cornwall. And the main theme of G7 Leader Summit, which is 47th in number, you have to remember the number also, 47. And answer of this question is Building Back Better. So answer is B. So remember here, Prime Minister Narendra Modi participate in the G7 United Kingdom 2021. It is also known as the Cornwall 47th G7 Leaders Summit 2021. And guys, you can remember the United Kingdom invited Australia, India, South Korea and South Africa as a guest countries to the 2021 summit. And these four countries like Australia, India, South Korea and South Africa jointly called Democracy 11. And G7 nations pledges 1 billion vaccine doses for the poorer nations. And these doses will be made available directly and through the international COVAX program. And guys, this is the first ever net zero G7. You can remember this keyword, net zero G7. So the 47th G7 Leader Summit has been called as the first ever net zero G7, as all countries have committed to reaching net zero emission by the year of 2050, or at the latest with ambitious reductions target in 2020 decade. It means 2020 to 2030. And the G7 countries and the guest countries signed the Open Society Statement. This is again very important. It supports the human rights for all, both online and offline. And it is to providing the freedom of expression. And G7 launched the Build Back Better World project. This is again very important thing which is started by G7 leaders. And this project is to counter China Belt and Road Infrastructure, which is known as the BRI project of the China. And this Build Back Better World will provide infrastructure partnership and will mobilize capital in the areas such as climate, health and health security, digital technology and gender equality and the equity. And it will help to achieving the United States 40 trillion fund needed by the developing nations by 2035 to boost their infrastructure. And the G7 leaders issued the Caribbean Bay Declaration. So you have to remember Caribbean Bay Declaration. The G7 leaders also issued the Caribbean Bay Declaration to prevent any repeat of the human and economic devastation wreaked by COVID-19. The declaration declares a series of setups like reduced time taken to develop and license vaccines, treatments and diagnostics for any future disease to under 100 days, and support for reforming and strengthening the World Health Organization. And the United Kingdom will be set up a organization, or you can say the center, which is known as Animal Vaccine Manufacturing and Innovation Center, and it is in the Pirbright Institution in the England, and it is aimed at stopping viruses from jumping into the human population. Next, Nature Compact and the Blue Planet Fund. This is important. because the Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, launched 500 million, remember, 500 million pound Blue Planet Fund. It will support countries such as Ghana, Indonesia, Pacific Island to tackle unsustainable fishing, protect and restore coastal ecosystem like mangroves and the coral reefs, and reduce marine population. So you have to remember these things which are very, very important related to G7, sorry, not G20. And guys, you can remember Indian Prime Minister highlighted India's commitment to climate action also. Prime Minister Modi ji stated that Indian Railway will achieve net zero emission by the year of 2030. Remember, Indian Railway will achieve net zero emission by the 2030, and India is the only G20 country on the track to meet its Paris commitment. This is said by Prime Minister Modi ji. So you have to remember about G7. G7 countries are 7 countries which are very developed countries like United States of America, United Kingdom, France, Germany, Italy, Canada, Japan, and European Union is organization here. And 2021 presidency lies with the United Kingdom, and G20 presidency lies with the Italy. So you have to remember this. Now we can move to the next question. So all the most important questions are now covered. We are moving to the very important questions, and you have to like this video, share this video, and subscribe this channel. And guys, you can join our Telegram group from the description box link. And here is the first question: which former Indian cricketer inducted into the 10 cricket icon list under ICC Hall of the Fame 2021 recently? So the very important keyword under this question is this 10 cricket icon. So the special edition of ICC Hall of Fame 2021, this is the 10 cricket icons into the ICC Hall of Fame, is to celebrate the prestigious history of Test cricket and to coincide with the first ever ICC World Test Championship final. And guys, remember this player is Vinu Mankad. Remember Vinu Mankad. And you can see here Vinu Mankad among 10 ICC Hall of Fame special inductees ahead of the World Test Championship final. And you can see here he was an opening batsman and slow left arm orthodox bowler, known as one of the India's greatest ever all-rounders. And he's one of the only 3 cricketers to have batted in every position during his Test career. And he has also coached very famous player and the legendary player known as Sunil Gavaskar. And the special edition intake of 10 cricket icons into the ICC Hall of Fame is to celebrate the prestigious history of the Test cricket. And guys, remember the players and even he included in the list represented 5 different eras of the Test cricket, with 2 players each from 5 eras, like you can say early cricket era, players whose greatest contribution to the game ever prior to 1918, and 1 player selected from the South Africa and another from the Australia. Next era is the interwar era, like from 1918 to 1945, like during the World War I and during World War II. And next is the post-war era, like 2 players whose greatest contribution to the game in between 1946 to 1970. 1946 to 1970. And this player, like Indian player Vinu Mankad, also selected under this era, like post-war era. Players whose greatest contribution to the game were from 1946 to 1970. Other players are like ODI era, players whose greatest contribution to the game from 1971 to 1995, and modern era belongs to 1996 to 2015. So there are basically 5 time periods. Before 1918, next is 1918 to 45, next 46 to 70, next 71 to 95, and 96 to 2015. So these are the 5 eras, and Indian player elected under the 46 to 79 period. So you have to just remember. And this is International Cricket Council. International Cricket Council chairman is Greg Barclay. Chief Executive Officer is Manu Sahni. Headquarters in Dubai, and it was founded in 1909, and the motto is cricket for good. Moving to next question, guys. Who was appointed as the 13th Prime Minister of Israel? Recently, President was appointed. President of Israel was Isaac Herzog. But remember, we are talking about Prime Minister, not the President. So Isaac Herzog is currently elected as the President of Israel. But the Prime Minister and very good friend of Narendra Modi ji, Benjamin Netanyahu, outstated, and currently new Prime Minister of Israel, Naftali Bennett. So you have to remember, this is very important question, guys. D should be the answer. So by default, you can say that Naftali Bennett will succeed Benjamin Netanyahu, who has been serving the Prime Minister of Israel from the past 12 years. And Israeli Parliament is known as Knesset. Knesset. This is the name of the Parliament of Israel. Elected him as the Prime Minister by 60-59. That is a very close margin. Vote of confidence in the 120-member House. So remember, previously Naftali Bennett was a former Minister of Defense under the Prime Minister Netanyahu. Now he became the Prime Minister. So remember the name of this person, because Israel is very important. Capital is Jerusalem. President I already covered, Isaac Herzog, and currency is Israeli new shekel. And you can see here the one option, Zoveri Museveni. Very important name. You have to remember, he was recently elected as the president of which country? President of Uganda. For the sixth term. So remember, you can see here the picture of Naftali Bennett, and he's sworn in as the Prime Minister of Israel. So we covered all the things about Israel and the former Prime Minister, the President, and the Uganda President, and also about the currency and the capital of Israel. Now moving to next question. What was the name of the first athlete from independent India to complete the Olympic marathon race who recently died? So the very important keyword here is the first athlete from independent India. It means after 1947 to complete the Olympic marathon race. And answer of this question is Surat Singh Mathur, and he belongs to New Delhi, or you can say Delhi. He belongs to Delhi. And you can see here Indian Olympian Surat Singh Mathur passed away. You can see here the picture, and you can remember this news. He was the first athlete from independent India to complete the Olympic marathon race at the 1952 Helsinki Games, and he was won the bronze medal at the first Asian Games held in 1951 in Delhi. And he has won 2 gold medals in the national championship. The Olympic Council of Asia honored him during the inauguration of the headquarters in the Kuwait city in 2009. And Chhota Singh was the first athlete to represent independent India in the marathon race in 1948 in, you can say, the London Olympics. That was the first games in which India participated independently, that is in London Olympics in 1948. And but Chhota Singh didn't complete the race. So the first person who completed the marathon race was Surat Singh Mathur, and he died, and he belongs to Delhi. So remember these things. Now we can move to next question. But you guys, you can remember here the options. Yes, these persons are recently died. You can see here Anshuman Singh. He recently died, and he was the former governor of 2 states like Rajasthan and Gujarat. Next is Ishar Singh Deol. He was also recently died, and he was very famous athlete. Next is Lakshman Pai. Again, he recently died, and he was very famous painter and artist, and he was also received the Padam Bhushan. So all the options are important. Moving to next question. Flipkart partner with which state government to implement the medicines from the Sky project? It means this company will deliver the medicine through drones, and it is a pilot project which will be started in the Telangana state. So answer of this question is B. So in simple word, you can say that Flipkart partnered with the Telangana government to implement the medicines from the Sky project on pilot basis in the state to supply COVID-19 vaccines and emergency medical supplies to the rural areas using drones. And you can see here the prototype of drones and coronavirus vaccine box. And it is to supply COVID-19 vaccines and emergency medical supplies to the rural areas during drones. And Flipkart will implement the project on pilot basis for 6 days. And they will deliver these vaccines using cutting edge technologies to supply medicines. And Telangana government also partnered with the World Economic Forum, Niti Aayog, and HealthNet Global to receive technical support for this kind of the initiative. So guys, you have to just remember these 2 or 3 things, but you can remember about the Flipkart. Flipkart was established in the year of 2007, and founder is Sachin Bansal and Binny Bansal. This question was asked so many times. Sachin and Binny Bansal. And CEO is Kalyan Krishnamurthy. Headquarters is in Bangalore, Karnataka. But guys, you can also remember about Telangana Chief Minister and Governor. Very famous. Governor is Tamilizai Soundararajan, and she also has the additional charge of Puducherry, because recently you can say Kiran Bedi was removed as the governor of the Puducherry. So that's why Tamilizai Soundararajan gets the additional charge of the Telangana and also the Puducherry. But you can also remember the Chief Minister of Telangana. Telangana Chief Minister is K. Chandrasekhar Rao. And guys, you can remember very important national parks in Telangana. One is Mahavir Harina National Park. National Park in Telangana, or you can say Mahavir Harina Vansthali National Park. Next national park is Mrugavani National Park. So these two are very important national parks in Telangana. Now, you can also remember the recent related news that India's largest floating solar power plant of 100 megawatt, the capacity is 100 megawatt capacity, being constructed at Ramagundam in Pedapalli district of Telangana. So you have to remember the area, that is Ramagundam. Total capacity of this floating solar power plant, that is 100 megawatt, and it will be established in the state of Telangana, and it is India's largest floating solar power plant. Remember these things, these are very, very important. Now we can move to next question. Which application is launched by Ministry of Ayush to create awareness about yoga? So I think all the students know this, that on 21st of June we will celebrate the International Day of Yoga, which was you can say celebrated first time in 2015, and this is the 7th International Day of Yoga, which will be celebrated on 21st of June. So on that lines, the curtain raiser event was organized, and on this event we organized and launched an application which is known as Namaste Yoga. So you can see here Namaste Yoga mobile application launched in the curtain raiser event for the 7th International Day of Yoga, which will be celebrated on 21st of June 2021. And guys, remember, first International Yoga Day was celebrated in 2015. And you can see here the app was launched during the virtual curtain raiser event on the 7th International Day of Yoga. And you can also remember Prakash Javadekar, Union Minister of Information and Broadcasting, participated in this event. Even Kiran Rijiju, Union Minister of State, independent charge of Ayush, that is known as Ayurveda, Yoga, Neuropathy, Unani, Siddha, Swarigpa and Neuropathy, formally launched this Namaste Yoga application and dedicated to yoga. And the Namaste Yoga application is an information platform for the public to raise awareness about yoga and make it accessible for the larger community. And the event marks the beginning of the 10-episode series on various aspects of the common yoga protocol, which will be telecast on the Doordarshan television channel from 12th June to 21st of June. 12th June to 21st of June till the day of the International Yoga. And Ministry of Ayush, Minister of State is Kiran Rijiju now. Constituency is Arunachal West, Arunachal Pradesh. So remember these things. But you can also remember other applications here. These are again very important. Like you can see here, the first application is e-Aushadhi. This is also launched by Ministry of Ayush, and it is for online licensing of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani and homeopathy drugs and related matters. So it is for the online licensing system. Next is Ayush Sanjeevani. It is launched by Union Health Minister Harshvardhan ji and Minister of State for Ayush to generate data on the acceptance of uses of Ayush advocates or the advocacies and measures among among the population and its impact on the prevention of the COVID-19. Next is Jeevan Seva application. It is basically launched by the Delhi government, or you can say the Health Minister of Delhi, Sitendra Jain, to offer safe and timely transport of the corona patients to the healthcare facilities and hospital. So it is a specific state or union territory application. This is by the Delhi. Ayush Sanjeevani by the Health Ministry and the Ministry of Ayush. e-Aushadhi is again for Ayush. So all the applications are important. Next question is, who will assist developmental projects in the northeastern states with the use of satellite imaging? So this time we are talking about the satellite imaging, and we are talking about the 8 northeastern states basically under which we can do the developments through this satellite imaging. And this organization is, guys, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. And you can see here it is the first of its kind in India, where ISRO is involved in an institutional involvement in the mapping and sharing the data for the developmental projects. Even ISRO is already monitoring and geotagging around 67 projects and 221 sites in the northeastern states, which are funded by the Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region, which is also known as DONER or donor. Donor stands for Ministry of Development of Northeastern Region and Northeastern Council. And the Northeastern Space Application Center is situated in the Meghalaya, has received proposal from 6 out of 8 northeastern states except Sikkim and the Assam. And this organization, which is known as Northeastern Space Application Center, is an autonomous organization under the Department of State, and it is located in the Shillong and provides dedicated services to the northeastern 8 states. And guys, remember these northeastern states are M cube, A square and TS months. M cube stands for Meghalaya, Mizoram and Manipur. A stands for Arunachal and Assam. N stands for Nagaland. T stands for Tripura, and Sikkim, S stands for Sikkim. So you can remember these states. So this is ISRO. Just a simple question. You have to cover this question as in the slide, same as in the slide. We can move to next question. Recently, FAME India scheme was in news because second phase was amended now, and this scheme is related to what? So very simple question. If you know the abbreviation of FAME, then you can recall the answer. So guys, FAME stands for Faster Adoption and Manufacturing of Hybrid and Electric Vehicles in India. I am repeating again, faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles. So this is basically the abbreviation of FAME. So answer is very simple. It is for the electric vehicles. You can see here, Ministry of Heavy Industry and Public Enterprises modify FAME scheme, and it is basically the second phase of the FAME scheme. And phase 1 of the scheme was started in the financial year of 2016-17. This was the phase 1, and it is to promote hybrid and electric technology in the transportation as to reduce dependency on the fossil fuel. And the phase 1 was launched in 2016-17, and its aim to complete by 2 years, but it was extended up to 2019. The scheme has 4 focus areas: technology development, demand creation, pilot project, and the charging infrastructure. But now in 2019, like phase 2 of the FAME was started, which was approved by the government with an outlay of 10,000 crore for a period of 3 years till the year of 2022. It means the first phase is for the time period of 2 years, but it is extended to 2019. But now in 2019, we decided to provide 10,000 crore for this manufacturing of electric vehicles. But now this time period is again extended because only 492 crore rupees is just spent out of 10,000 crore till March 2021. Hence the scheme is likely to extended till 2024. So the second phase is to support the electrification of the public and shared transportation and help create charging infrastructure. So guys, this is FAME scheme, and the main ministry here is important, Ministry of Heavy Industry and Public Enterprises, whose union minister is Prakash Javadekar ji. And the main organization which will support this FAME scheme, that is EESL, very important organization, Energy Efficiency Services Limited, and this is a joint venture of NTPC, Rural Electrification Corporation, Power Finance Corporation, and Power Grid Corporation. So you can also remember this. Now we can move to the next section. It is our important question section. You can like this video, share this video, and subscribe this channel. And guys, you can join our Telegram group from this description box. Now here is the last question of the day. 15-meter tree of coffee family, which is known as Prestoria lalji, discovered in which state or union territory? Not important, even we are covering under the important section, but you have to just read this question. And the union territory is Andaman Nicobar, under which we found this 15-meter tree of coffee family, which is known as Prestoria lalji. So guys, it is named after Lalji Singh, Joint Director and Head of Office, Andaman and Nicobar Regional Center, Botanical Survey of India. So you don't have to remember all these things. You have to just remember the name of the coffee family, that is a tree which is known as Prestoria lalji, and it is found in Andaman Nicobar. Just remember this. Now we can move to the one-liner important point. Here is the first point. Sports Ministry launched Central Athlete Injury Management Systems to support athletes. So recently, Union Minister of State for Youth Affairs and Sports Kiran Rijiju ji launched a first of its kind centralized athlete injury management system called Central Athlete Injury Management System. And under this system, medical and rehabilitation support will be provided at the athlete, geological or the geographical location within India. And its main aim to provide injury management and rehabilitation support centers for athletes at their you can say the geographical location to achieve timely restoration from injury. And a 4-tier injury management structure will be provided, like athlete wellness center will be established, on-field sports medicine experts will be provided, national resource referral teams and central core team will also be established. So Ministry of Youth Affairs Sports is currently held by the Kiran Rijiju. Constituency is Arunachal West in Arunachal Pradesh. Next is nuclear weapons spending in 2020 increased by $1.4 billion. This is a report of ICAN. So first of all, you have to remember the name of this organization, International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. International Campaign to Abolish Nuclear Weapons. And this organization won Nobel Peace Prize in 2017. Nobel Peace Prize in 2017. And this was the most important question of 2017 and 18. And this organization was established in 2007. And it is a non-governmental organization promoting adherence and to implementation of United Nations Nuclear Weapon Ban Treaty for eliminating nuclear weapons all over world. Its headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland. And guys, now this organization published a report which is known as Complicit 2020 Nuclear Weapons Spending. And according to this report, in 2020, the nuclear weapons spending is now increased by $1.4 billion. $1.4 billion. And the 9 nuclear armed countries include the United Nations, China, Russia, United Kingdom, France, India, Israel, Pakistan, and the North Korea. These are the, you can say, the nuclear armed countries all over world, maximum nuclear armed countries all over world. So you can remember this. Next, 5 countries like Albania, Brazil, Gabon, Ghana, and United Arab Emirates elected to United Nations Security Council for 2020 to 23. It means these countries become a non-permanent members of United Nations Security Council, because you know there are 5 permanent members and 10 non-permanent members of United Nations Security Council. And non-permanent members time period is 2 years, and permanent members are China, France, Russia, United Kingdom, and the United States. And other 5 countries, remember, India is also currently the you can say the non-permanent member of India for 2020 and 21, like for time period of 2 years. So you can just remember this. Next is India's forex reserve crossed record $600 billion mark for the first time. So you can just read this news. And forex reserve is controlled by Reserve Bank of India. Next, World Blood Donor Day 2020 21. Celebrated on 14th of June. So you have to just remember this day. It is not so much important, but World Blood Donor Day is annually observed across the globe on 15th of June to create awareness about the need for safe blood and blood products for transfusion and of the critical contribution voluntary unpaid blood donors make to national health system. But it is not basically celebrated on the 15th of June. It is celebrated on 14th of June, not 15th of June. And the World Blood Donor Day is hosted by Italy this year through its National Blood Center, and the global event will be held in Rome on 14th of June 2021. And the slogan or campaign of this theme is Give Blood and Keep the World Beating. Give blood and keep the world beating. So you have to just remember. And it is organized by World Health Organization, headquarters in Geneva, Director General is Ted Ross. Next, Audi extended its association with the Indian cricketer Virat Kohli as brand ambassador. Just you have to remember, because he is already the brand ambassador of Audi. Now he extended the contract with the Virat Kohli. So you can remember. So now we can move to the question of the day. That is the 13th and 14th of June 2021. The question was, which is the first bank to introduce saving account in India? Saving account in India. All the 4 banks are important, and one thing is attached with every bank. Like you can see here, the Bank of Hindustan is here. Bank of Hindustan was the first bank. The first bank established in India was Bank of Hindustan, which was started in 1770. And second was General Bank of India. This was the second bank in India who was established, and this was established in 1786. So it means A and B is not the answer. Next is Bengal Bank. You have to remember, it was established in 1784 and was the first bank to introduce check system. And now only left is the Presidency Bank. You can remember, saving account system in India was started by Presidency Bank in 1833. So these things you have to remember. These are very, very important. Now we are moving to the next question. This is the question of the day. KYC guidelines has been issued under which section of the Banking Regulation Act of 1949? So you have to tell me the section. Nowadays sections are asking. So this is the important question. So guys, please like this video, share this video, and subscribe this channel. Please press this bell button so that you can receive the notification, and you can join our Telegram group for from the description box link for further notifications. And guys, remember, it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section, definitely. And guys, don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. And thank you for watching this video. Take care.